Hi, this is Mike Zapsik from a Shared Universe podcast studio, and you're listening to Talking Codswallop podcast.
Hey, it's Taylor from Calling the Shots.
Hey, this is Steve from Calling the Shots.
Hey, what's up? It's Mike from the Pizza Beer Revolution podcast.
Hi, this is Derek D from PBR Podcast and DerekD.com, of course, and you are listening to Talking Codswallop. Talking Codswallop. How you guys doing? This is great. This is the POTUS. It's President of the United States, Donald. You're looking to wall up the swallowing. That's what you're listening to. It's great. I gotta tell you, the swallow up of the wall is great. I love walls. And the cod wallop, it's swallow. Fantastic. You're listening to it. Wallops, cods. Fish, walls, swallows.
Welcome to this week's Talking Codswallop. I am Gemma.
I'm James.
And yet another week without Andy.
Yeah, Eeyore is still in his stable.
He is, yes.
With a thistle up his arse.
Yeah, actually, listeners, I hate to tell you this, but we've actually put him down.
Yeah.
It's really sad.
Yeah, he's been used for glue now.
Oh, no.
Glue and dog food.
Yeah, I was going to say dog food, but not glue.
Well, actually, to be fair, he's also been used as cat food to feed his cat. So, circle of life.
Oh, yeah, that's all right then. It's a circle of life. So, James, how have you been this week?
Not too bad. It's been a bit of a testing week with the saga of the ceiling at my father's is continuing, but we're hopefully seeing light at the end of the tunnel there.
The soggy, saggy ceiling saga.
The soggy, saggy, very wet ceiling saga.
Yeah.
Is hopefully coming to not an end, but they are going to begin the work and hopefully that will be resolved. We are now at the mercy of the insurance company, so hopefully that is something that can be resolved fairly quickly. But on a positive note, I got my cat with no issues through its MOT and through its service with no issues. But considering it has now been off the road for that long and is now below mileage, it's all good.
I was going to say, to be honest, it's almost like a brand new car with the amount of repairs you've had done to it recently.
Well, the only thing that I need to get replaced, that somebody's knee must have hit it when they are MOTing it, is they knocked a little button thing off that twiddles your illumination levels. So when I was in Audi, I said to them, how easy is it to get this? They said £8 and we'll sort it out. So £8 I'm happy with. It'll be fixed.
Yeah, £8 in the whole scale of things is nothing, is it?
Nothing at all in the great scheme of things now. No.
Especially at a dealer.
Yeah, no, totally. I mean, the cheapest I could find this little twiddly button top thing, because that's all it is a cover on a button.
And that's its technical name.
Yeah, the little twiddly button thingy, me bobby top thing. The cheapest I could find it online was £6.50 when I could find it. So I think I'm happy to pay £8 and have the dealer fit it. So yeah, it's all good. It's all good. It'll all work out. Happy, happy, joy, joy.
Yay! So all happiness in James's world.
Yeah, not bad. Trying,
That's the main thing.
And how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Not really anything happened this week, I don't believe.
Good. No flashing.
No flashing. I'd confuse a few people with that one, I think. Good old-fashioned episode title to draw the listeners in. Sorry if you were one of those, but no flashing. Still haven't sorted it out, but I will soon, because you've got 28 days to be able to sort it out.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of waiting until, not the last minute, because obviously you've got to post it off, but as close to the last minute as possible, so it's closer to payday.
Well, I think at the moment there's been a big push. Certainly in Yorkshire, there's a huge... for the first time in ages, I've noticed lots of traffic police out, parked at the side of the road. So
yeah, I
was chatting with one of them today because I was just walking, and we were I passed him, so I had a chat with him. But on was it Monday? Yeah, the Monday there was one actually parked up. Thankfully I saw them, with the proper van and the camera and everything, so I managed to go past at the required speed with no issues.
But you said you were walking though, didn't you?
Well, that was today. I've seen two lots of different traffic officers out.
I was going to say, how fast do you walk? Like 35 mile an hour?
Like a goddamn bullet. No, no, it was a guy on the motorbike today I was chatting to. He was just at the side of the road with obviously waiting to pull people over. So, but yeah, interesting.
I think it has got something to do with the time of year because there's like a lot of tourists and things in the area as well, isn't there?
Yeah, and it's a very good revenue spinner, let's be honest.
Exactly. So it's, the summertime, the police come out and take all of our money.
And I guess they're also probably, they were probably looking if there's any worth to putting cameras up, things like that. So we shall see. We shall see.
The one that caught me, we won't keep harping on about it, but the one that caught me was actually a speed camera that was there. It wasn't a cop car.
It wasn't a human being.
No,
it wasn't. It was a camera.
I was caught by a machine.
Terminator time.
Yes, indeed. Still sad. But no, all in all, I've pretty much had a good week. I didn't do anything at the weekend because that was quite nice just to chill out and do all the boring stuff like washing and cleaning like everybody else has to do.
Mm-hmm.
Makes for riveting podcasting. So let's move on to something different. But it is a bank holiday weekend in the UK.
It is. We've got an upcoming bank holiday weekend, so
yeah,
it'll be if the weather's good, it'll be chaos as usual. And the roads will definitely be chaos regardless.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of renowned, isn't it, for bank holiday weekends, or like it's basically like a public holiday that we have on Monday.
It is.
Just for sort of international listeners, if they don't call it bank holiday, which I don't believe they do. It's sort of renowned that it's actually rains most of the time on bank holiday weekend, doesn't it?
Well, the unwritten rule is also the fact that you get stuck behind slow-moving people in cars and slow-moving caravans.
Yeah.
Or cyclists around here. You get stuck behind a lot of cyclists. All these things that really aggravate me. So my intention is to drive nowhere on bank holiday.
No, it's like there's an event going on in Weymouth, which is a musical event. So that's on the Sunday and the Monday where a load of bands sort of come and play. And I've sort of put my, because you can do on Facebook, you can, mark down that you're gonna go to something or whatever, and or interested in going to something, and I'm sort of like on the fence, like I'm like, I really would like to go down, but it's gonna be crowded, it's potentially gonna be hot, obviously I'll be having a couple of drinks, so that's quite fun, but it's also trying to find something to go with, or do I go on my own and then not talk to anyone? But then can I talk to anyone with bands playing anyway? It's all these scenarios that you sort of like, you go through in your head.
Well, you could attend and then mark down, like I've seen people do an awful lot now, it's mark down, I survived the event.
Yeah. Somebody made stickers for cars and it says, I survived a certain traffic system that we've got in Weymouth. Basically, it used to be 2 perfectly good roundabouts, but when the Olympics was due to come, which I think was 2010, if I remember rightly.
It was either 10 or 12, wasn't it, I think?
Yeah, one of those two. They destroyed our roads, basically, and put in loads of different traffic lights and things. But there's one set which is awful, because there's like about 4 different flows of traffic that move at the same time, and nobody can work out what lane they should be in. And, like, if you're turning right, but then there's oncoming traffic, it's kind of like you could potentially cause an accident. It's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous, but anyway.
It's like the problem they have when they've created these, smart motorways. I don't see it. It just seems to be creating a lot of chaos or something. I'm not sure how well it'll work out. It could actually end up being more dangerous than what was originally in.
Yeah. I just can't wait for flying cars, to be honest.
Oh, I think we'll all be dead by the time that happens properly.
Well, it might not be true, but I thought that I heard that someone in China had begun working on flying cars, and they've got the sort of blueprint for it, sort of thing. Never know. You
do never know. It may be like Back to the Future 2 yet. Who knows?
Who knows? Didn't happen in 2015?
15, no.
Yeah, 15. Yeah.
I know that with such precision because I was at the cinema for Back to the Future Day when they were doing a showing of all the films.
Ah, amazing. But yeah, because I know that they made obviously quite a big deal of that
Mm-hmm.
that date, didn't they?
They did.
Yeah. Oh, I love that film so much. I know I was hesitant a second ago, but it's still, it's one of my absolute favourite trilogies out there.
It's brilliant. And actually, they're suggesting that they're trying to, there's been some petitions to get another film made, but it's not going to happen because Bob Gale has set up that he's looking to actually have something put in his will, in fact, that they can never remake the film.
Good. I don't want it to ever be remade. It doesn't need it.
Definitely not.
It doesn't need it, and it doesn't need any more. It doesn't need a fourth film.
No.
In my opinion. And also, if they were to make a fourth film, personally speaking, I would want the same cast.
Yeah.
But it's not fair on the same cast because, obviously Michael J. Fox is going through hell at the moment with Parkinson's, and Christopher Lloyd is obviously incredibly old now.
Well, it's a bit harsh, but he's getting on a bit, yeah.
Well, a couple of years ago, I saw him at London Film and Comic Con, and he looked like he'd really aged.
Yeah.
He's one of my idols, so I'm really saying it with sadness in my heart sort of thing. But you can definitely tell that he's frail now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where they'd go with it either. Because, I mean, the thing is, it's one of these films that is of the time. So it's not going to be something that I think you could easily, you can't capture that sort of lightning in a bottle twice. And if we look at the fact that, and that isn't a Back to the Future pun about lightning either, but if you look at the fact of a lot of the times they've remade films, we haven't seen any successful remakes of anything really. For example, they remade RoboCop. It failed miserably as a film. It didn't do well.
Yeah.
I don't think a remake or a continuation of Back to the Future would work particularly well at all. And I mean, there's been a resurgence of interest just slightly at the moment because of there's been 2 films made about John DeLorean.
Yes. Yeah, I heard about that.
Framing John DeLorean and Driven. 2 different films about him. I've seen both of them. They're very interesting. But I do not envision that it would be a wise choice to do anything else with Back to the Future. So,
no.
Although the musical is coming out, next
now that would
year.
Be quite fun.
That's coming out in Manchester for a limited, I think, 13 shows. I may have completely dropped the ball by not getting tickets when I had a chance, but, it is what it is.
Oh. If any tickets become available, James, and you're able to snap up 2, let me know.
I will.
Because I definitely would love to come
Don't
and
worry.
see that.
I'm keeping eyes on things, and I did chat with Bob Gale about it, believe it or not, so yeah.
Yeah, because I think a stage show of that would be fantastic. I almost used your word of phenomenal then, but yeah, actually it would be phenomenal.
And to use my other word, it would be sweet.
Sweet and phenomenal.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm on board with that because that is something different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can actually see the musical working well because there's, the film itself was built around a lot of different sorts of music. If you look at the soundtrack, it's got all different artists on it. There's a big push with the Hulu's and the news thing. And then you get the ability to go to the 50s and do musical things with that. So if they can make a musical something as bizarre and violent as American Psycho, I think they could do something magical, something as loved and brilliant as Back to the Future.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So, all right. Well, we have to try and get tickets for that. Okay.
Fingers crossed.
All right.
I shall keep researching and looking.
Okay, cool. I'm going to put you on that task.
Okay.
Obviously, I'll give you the money for mine.
Yeah.
But make sure I'm included. If any other friends want to come, that's fine too, but I have to be there. All right. So that's it for this week's episode.
Yep, that's it. I'll go off and do my research, right?
No, not at all. All right. So let's move on. We've been all fluffy and happy at this point then. Let's see if we've got any Codswallop this week. James, have you got anything?
Oh yeah, I have a very specific Codswallop to me.
Okay.
Now, I've had a few issues with my telephone line and my internet, and it's been a bit touch and go. Now, I got in contact with my provider, who were pretty good, and said, we'll get somebody out as soon as we possibly can. They booked it all in. I cancelled a meeting with family members and other things to ensure that I would be around, be able to get home and be around to be there for the person to come and do the work. And as in the case of a lot of these things, they give you a window of time to do it.
Okay. Yeah.
between 8 a.m. and 1 o'clock. Well, I got no text messages, I got nothing, I got no contact, nothing at all. So I contacted my provider, and then it turned out that the people who work on their behalf had said the problem was resolved and that they weren't coming.
Brilliant.
Which was entirely not the case. The problem is even now still persisting, and basically it was complete bump and nonsense to say that it had been fixed. I even tried some things that were suggested by my provider, which eliminated the problem being anything internal to me. It also turns out most of my neighbours are having a problem, but my big codswallop is why on earth would the external company, who I'm going to name and shame, who are OpenReach, cancel something without having addressed it at all, without having the courtesy to contact me to say that they weren't coming.
Yeah.
And why is it up to me to have to resolve something, to rearrange something, which is in fact going to be tomorrow, causing me yet more problems. And I have blasted them over for this on Twitter, which they have at least had the courtesy to respond to, and reiterate that they are going to be coming. So watch this space. But again, why is it such a shoddy service from a provider? You're seeing far too often, in fact, you saw it by Kai, so other things. It's a half-assed job being done. It's just the buck being passed and something not being addressed, and to me that's just piss-poor service.
Yeah, absolutely. And coming from a customer service background, which obviously I work in, you know, that is the thing that sells companies to people. It's that customer service rating that people get. And you know, that they are, well, I mean, sometimes they can sort of put up their own number, 5-star, and you kind of think, I really wonder if that's true. But then when you read reviews about people, you've got Checker Trade and things like that, haven't you? Obviously that's for tradespeople rather than actually services like this, but I'm sure there's other places. But yeah, when you actually read people's comments, people are always honest, so sometimes a little bit too honest, hello, I'm trying to get something out of this company. But, at the same time, you got to kind of read a little bit through the bullshit to, get your real true picture. But yeah, I just don't understand why people can't fulfill their job, It's every day. I mean, I do let people down, obviously, because of deliveries or whatnot. Or the fact that the parts haven't been created in time, But at the same time, I always make sure I let the customer know as soon as I know the information. That way, I have still offered them a good customer service,
Well, the way I look at it is there's no point, when I spoke to my provider, the guy was incredibly helpful. The actual providers have been very, very good. They've done the best to try and resolve things. They've been helpful. They've been honest with me. Again, as you said, what's the point of it's the people who obviously they contract out to are just not, obviously, I don't know what the reason is why they didn't turn up, but to me, it is a massive drop of the ball and a lack of courtesy. And you are unfortunately seeing this more and more again. And the sad thing is, unless you're someone like me who will chase this up and find out what's going on, the great example again, going to the worst one, is my car.
Yeah.
A lot of people just let this slide and put up with it. Well, it's not fair on the people the people who would do that, it's not right, or the people who couldn't do that. So what if, in the case of the issue that I'm having at the moment with OpenReach, what if I was a disabled or an elderly person who was absolutely, dependent upon having a telephone service that worked, who wasn't able to get this responded, and then just threw in the towel, or something, God forbid, terrible happened. It's a worrying sign that these companies are so willing to just forget about their customer, because people, what's the worst thing that can happen? Your customers walk. Yeah.
And that is the worst case scenario, isn't it? Are you up for a renew yet? Or
I'll be getting close to it, and depending on what they do with me at this stage, it'll make a decision on, I have to make a decision on what I do. So at the moment, the ball is in their court to make it worth me coming back to them.
Absolutely. So I've just realised that one of my windows is open, so I'm just going to go and close it a second, because I've been wondering why I could hear noise outside. So I'll be 2 seconds, okay?
La 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 la.
And I'm back.
She's back.
I thought I'd get my iPad as well because we could maybe look up some stories or something.
Something I have seen in the news that's come out is they finally released the new title of the upcoming James Bond film.
Yeah, I heard that. It's awful.
It sounds more like it's not the most inspiring. It sounds more like the sort of thing that would have been one of the novels, to be honest. But we'll have to see. I'm not exactly filled full of confidence for what the film's going to be anyway. Because it's had so many setbacks and so many issues, but we'll see. But it does seem like a sort of generic title that doesn't really even make you think of much. And the other really mental thing that's popped up is they're going to make another Matrix.
Oh, are they? I didn't know that.
Why?
Yeah.
I didn't think the last two Matrix films were particularly good.
Oh, see, I like the original. I like the first one. Was there 3 in total, or was there 2?
There were 3, but the problem I had when I watched the Matrix films a few years ago is when I look at them now, I don't even sort of desperately rate the stories. I think the thing is that they were such a revolutionary thing at the time that we were sort of more wowed by what we've seen from a technological point. We've never seen sort of films made like that.
Yeah, exactly.
But I don't really know what they're going to do with the 4th film. I mean, yeah, I just can't see it. I mean, they killed off, spoilers for however old the film is, but they obviously killed off Neo in the final one. And it was supposed to be like an entirely new setup, so who knows? I mean... Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, we've got an uninspiring Bond title and the idea of being put forth of a 4th Matrix film.
Yeah, I think that why fix something when it's not broken?
I think part of the problem is that Hollywood is now showing itself to be, I mean, we just talked about the idea of remakes. Hollywood is showing itself to be so uninspired.
Yeah.
Of just playing it safe with things. But again, to be fair, talk about making another film, I queried the logic of why they made a 4th Toy Story film. Because supposedly the 3rd one wrapped it all up, and that did seem to work successfully. But
then that one is for kids, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, and also I love Toy Story myself. So, but I think that because children are going to go and want to watch that film as well as adults, that one is always going to rack up quite a lot of money, like Lion King and all Disney films, really. Apart from obviously the sub Disney films like Star Wars and things like that, but. Yeah, all those kind of childlike films are gonna, be successful because children always want to go and see stuff.
I think the problem they could have with The Matrix is a bit like one of the problems they had with when they made that sequel to the X-Files film. The gap was, the time frame between the films was so large that the natural audience probably dropped off. But we'll have to see what happens. Interesting, you just mentioned Disney. We've also, I don't know if you've seen the news, the comment about Disney and Sony and SpiderMan.
No. They
are now saying, I believe it's Sony, saying that it's basically dropped the interest in Spider-Man, as I understand it. they're sort of looking to maybe make no more Spider-Man films.
Yeah, because somebody at work today was actually talking about Spider-Man, and I was sort of overhearing it, so they weren't actually talking to me, but it was a quiet office, so I could hear. And he was saying about the fact that there is talks of bringing out a sort of like Spider-Verse type film where it's all of the people that have played Spider-Man in their own costumes.
Ah, interesting.
Which I think that sounds really actually quite exciting. So you have Tobey Maguire and all of the Spider-Mans basically. And sort of competing against each other or whatever. So
well, what they said was, I mean, there was the Into the Spider-Verse film, which had all the different Spider-Men from different, and Spider-Women and whatever, pig thing, and from all the different universes. And there's also this big push through DC at the moment where they're doing the Crisis on Infinite Earths or something it's called, where they're going to have loads of different people who've been involved in the DC films in some element in this show, playing different versions. So like Brendan Routh's going to be back playing a version of Superman. I suppose Dean Kane's going to be playing a version, but Ward, who played Robin, will be playing a version of some sort, Kevin Conroy, etc.
Yeah.
But what they're saying with Spider-Man on this article, Sony says it's disappointed not to be working with Disney on future Spider-Man films. They're basically saying that the film rights to the superhero are owned by Sony, there was some sort of deal between Sony and Marvel Studios owned by Disney, which does explain why Venom was made as a completely separate film. So I think Sony owned Venom. But what they're saying is that Sony have thanked Marvel Studios for help and guidance, and they're basically saying that Disney are not aiming to have any continued relationship with Sony, I think. So what they're saying it now means is that
either they move over to Disney or it's gone.
Well, they're saying the films could be very different, saying that basically Tom Holland will still be contracted to 2 more films, and that'll be with Sony, sorry. But there'll be sort of a complete different setup to the work that's been done, I'm assuming, with Disney. So you maybe won't see them crossing over so much.
Oh, that would be a real shame.
Yeah, so Ryan Reynolds himself has said that Spider-Man and Deadpool obviously won't cross over, and yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. I mean, it could just be one humongous giant tactic to negotiate things better.
Yeah. And to see what the audience reacts like as well, I suppose.
Although, sorry, go on.
Because obviously Spider-Man and Deadpool, for example, well, all of the Marvel ones really, they're quite big characters, aren't they? I'm not a massive fan of DC, to be honest. I do watch some DC, but I'm more into Marvel than DC. So, you know, like when Infinity War and Endgame came out, you know, like everybody sort of just went nuts for that film, didn't they? So,
I mean, it could be interesting to see whether, if everything will originate back to Sony, if you're going to finally have, well, not finally, but you'll have another idea of crossing over Venom and Spider-Man. So you might have Tom Hardy's version of Venom against Tom Holland's version of Spider-Man. It'll be interesting to see. I mean, Disney now owns so much when it comes to sort of films. I mean, obviously they own the entire Lucas back catalogue. They own basically the entire well, they did at one stage, but obviously not now. Own pretty much the entire back catalogue of Marvel's works. So it could be interesting just to see somebody else. I know Sony's a big company, but it could be interesting to see somebody else getting a bit more into the mix. But maybe they'll resolve it. Maybe it's just, like I said, a giant tactic to negotiate with a bit more power.
yeah, I reckon it is, but time will tell. We shall see.
We will.
When the big cats have stop playing, then the little cats will find out, or the little mouse. We're more like mice, aren't we, really, to them?
Well, although the big mouse, there's a very big mouse playing in all this, isn't there? In the shape of Disney. So
yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Good reference of the mouse. I didn't even put the 2 and 2 together. I have Googled a story.
okay.
So, did you want to hear a story of the week?
Story of the week, yes, please.
We haven't done a story of the week for quite some time.
We haven't.
The headline reads, "Woman puts octopus on face, ends up in hospital."
Well, okay, what did they think was going to happen?
A Washington woman's photo with an octopus not only went viral, also led to a serious infection after the creature bit her chin.
I can believe that, yeah.
Yeah. Jamie, who was participating in a salmon fishing derby in Tacoma Narrows on Saturday, when she realised she probably wasn't going to win that event.
Go on.
Yeah. However, she saw another opportunity for glory when she spied an octopus one of her friends had caught.
Right, yeah.
Alright, you ready? This is her now. "I grabbed it and took it off the hook and said, 'Take a picture for the photo contest,'" she told Huffington Post. Oh, yeah, this is from Huffington Post, everyone. She put the coelopod? Does that?
Coelopod, yeah.
Yes. Oh, I'm getting the word right. Woohoo!
It's a coelopod.
On her face and said, yeah, that's what she said, and said the testicles covered her ears and
No, tentacles, not testicles. I mean, for all I know, it could have Ralph Garman-style balls on it, the octopus, but I'm pretty sure they don't. I think we do in fact mean, tentacles. But yeah, could have massive balls, so,
So yeah, as James quite clearly corrected me there. It is tentacles, not testicles.
Unless it's the Ralph Garman of Octopus.
Right, okay. So anyway, the tentacles actually covered her ears and her nose. It was perfect for a fun photo, except when the octopus bit her on her chin. Like, this is her again. My friends noticed my chin had changed, she said. I don't know if that's the accent for Washington, but...
Did she not notice her chin had changed?
Oh, maybe not. We couldn't get the beak to dislodge. It was like a prong. Although they keep putting her surname, so I'm just putting she instead of her surname because it is quite a complicated surname. So she is she. Okay. Although she eventually freed herself from the octopus, she bled profusely for 30 minutes after.
Ow.
Yeah. There's still a pulse pocket. And there's a spot under my chin, she said. Oh, sorry. She said. Right. She waited 2 days until the fishing derby was over to seek medical attention. That may not have been the best move, as the left side of her face was paralyzed and there was a lot of swelling. They took me instead, but the IVs didn't work. And my arm swelled up like an elephant, she said. Now she is on antibiotics and a quest of sorts.
Oh, a quest, right, yes, sorry.
Yeah, a quest of...
I thought it said a quest of salts. I was thinking, is that some sort of medical thing?
No, sorts. I want people not to do what I did, she said. My advice is... This is actually quite a good accident for this. My advice is... know what you're touching beforehand.
That's what she said.
Yeah, I haven't quite finished yet. She did get revenge of sorts. She boiled and grilled the creature and served it on a salad.
Okay, yeah.
Her photo has since received worldwide attention, but she won't find out if it won the $100 prize contest until later this week. I'm interested to hear what her actual medical bills were.
Yeah, I was thinking that. I think it'd be more than $100 to...
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Of course, if she doesn't win after all she's been through, that would add insult to injury. The end.
I think she should have the insult to injury, because if she's daft enough to stick an octopus to her face, I mean...
With
what
testicles.
Yeah. So when she's teabagging the octopus, from the testicle point of view, from what you were saying, Gemma. No, but being serious, like, for the sheer daft stupidity of it, I mean, the fact that the tentacles themselves, the suckers on them can be pretty... I think they've got little teeth things on them, haven't they?
Yep.
So that's going to hurt you anyway, but of course a pissed off octopus is going to want to take some sort of revenge on you.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's a bit like that story that we had with the girl who was taking her...
graduation picture with the crocodile thing, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Anything could have happened to that, so... these people...
Well, the thing is that it sort of shows you into this complete mental stupidity that is people doing things on the internet in this idea to get likes. You've seen it constantly on YouTube. It's like, I mean, how old was this woman?
It doesn't say.
Right. Well,
it doesn't say, but looking at her, I'd say, I've taken the picture away now, but I'd say late 30s, early 40s.
Right. She should know better. I mean, how desperate is she to win some contest? The fact that she had a violent allergic reaction as well to what happened.
Well, she did have an allergic reaction, yes. Yeah, sorry, you are right, but I think it was because it bit her.
Yeah. But again, surely that will tell you, that these things should not be done. I do like the fact that she's bookended it by saying, don't do what I do. Well, duh.
Yeah, because she wants to win the prize. That's why they're saying it.
I think she's the sort of person who would try and clean out the barrel of her shotgun using her tongue.
Probably. But then on the other side of things, I am thinking to myself that it is probably something stupid that I would probably do for a laugh.
Oh dear.
Yeah, just for a laugh, I think to myself, oh, this, like if I saw a starfish or something like that, I'd stick it on my face.
Yeah, I think you may still have issues, to be honest, with the starfish even.
No, I get it, but it's just like, I have instant thoughts, and I just think, oh my god, that would be a right laugh, and then, straight after, once the thing has gone horribly wrong, I'd be like, crap. Shouldn't have done that.
Well, it's a bit like the guy on, I think it's called TGF Bro on YouTube. I think this was the guy where he'd like cemented his head in a microwave.
What?
Or something. Yeah, he did some really stupid thing like that, and they basically had to get the fire service and the ambulance service out to free him, because it could have killed him. And
So what, sorry, you're going to have to explain that one to me. He poured cement into a microwave and stuck his head in.
It was something like that. He definitely put his head into something with, I think it was cement or some sort of expanding foam or something in it. He did it last year. There's two guys who work on this YouTube page, and they are very successful. They've got like millions upon millions of views, but it's the inherent risk and then the cost on top of that it caused to the emergency services, etc.
Yeah.
You constantly see people chasing something, getting more and more extreme in the effort to try and win something or get likes for something. And the question is where it's going to end. I don't sound like some boring old person with it, but where is it going to end? What's the final stage going to be? Like someone cuts their own head off or something like in Tusk or whatever it is. Was it chopped his own head off his leg or something in Tusk? As a guy online to get likes.
Oh yeah. Well, no, he didn't mean to chop his leg off in Tusk. Yeah, I mean he did. He did actually chop it off, but yeah, he was more trying to actually do a sword fight, and it went horribly wrong. But yeah.
But yeah, it is a concern. I mean, I know that there are some people I know on YouTube and are friendly with who do stuff like this, but there is a concern. Certainly. But, I mean, seriously, come on, an octopus, of all the creatures you can stick to your face, go with something a bit, nicer and kinder that isn't going to hurt you. Actually, no, don't put any creature on your face. They're not there to be played with.
Well, not even like a fish.
No, because the fish could still hurt you, and it's cruel on the fish. Actually, you know what? My entire view on this is going to be this, right? The octopus, I'm with the octopus. Yeah, don't screw with the octopus. He did the right thing. It hurt the woman. Yeah. Go octopus.
There we had it, folks. James is on the side of the octopus, and so am I, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like even though with my comment that I made, obviously it's I know that I would do something ridiculous because I don't think about things before I do them. I just go ahead and do them, and then realize that I've made a mistake. But but yeah, I don't think I would quite do that. But who knows? Who knows what goes on in my brain?
True. Well, but Gemma clearly wants someone to buy her a live starfish.
Oh yes, please. Right, I'm just seeing if there's any other.
There was something completely weird I saw on the news, but I forgot what it was, to be honest. It was just one of these, what the hell? How the hell did that get in the press stories? It was just like a completely pointless non-story, but I can't remember where it is or where to even look, I'm afraid.
That's all right. I mean, if we can't find anything, we can always just wrap it up. It could be a shorter episode today.
Yeah, because we're going to have a load of other stuff coming down the pipe.
Yes.
That is for sure.
We definitely are, because we have got our second birthday coming up very soon. Unfortunately, sadly, our Andy won't be here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's still going through his thistleectomy.
Yeah. So yeah, we got a lot of fun things coming up, and watch the space. And also, if any listeners have got any sort of birthday wishes or want to sing a little song or anything like that, please send them into talkingcodswalloppodcast@gmail.com, and then I'll put them together on the episode, and, that'll be quite fun. It's always nice to hear your voices as well as hear ours, so.
Or if they want to hear any weird, well, not weird, that's the wrong word, but if they want to hear any of our views on things, or in fact pose us any sort of questions that they might want us to answer, things of that nature. With our birthday coming up, we could answer some nice agony aunt style questions, things like that.
Yeah, definitely. Send in weird thoughts. We love them.
Yeah, see if you can out weird me trying to take revenge on a marshmallow man baby creature.
That was definitely, I was going to say the icing on the cake, but I don't know if the marshmallow on the cake.
Yeah. I found myself looking at jelly babies today, plotting revenge.
Oh, fantastic. Well, I think at this point we've been talking enough Codswallop. Are you thinking the same?
I do. I think we've had a really nice little short, icing on the parfait cake time. So
Yeah. So in that case, then we've been talking enough Codswallop this week. I've been Gemma.
I've been James, but I could also be Jason.
Oh yes, we forgot to mention that you're Jason today.
I am Jason.
Yeah. Well, maybe you could put on a voice for Jason. What would Jason sound like?
Oh God, that's a good question. What Jason sound like? I don't know.
Oh no, just come up with a weird voice. Because I mean, I just did an American accent that was crap, so don't worry about it. Oh, it sounds like James. So yeah, we've been talking Codswallop. So thank you again for listening, guys.